Hey guys, welcome to Health Travel Magazine's first official podcast. We're on a mission to find and speak with some of the world's leading experts in the world of wellness in order to give you a better understanding of what to expect from a luxury health retreat. Today, I'm joined by Meredith Haas, the head chef over at The Ranch, who will explain a little bit more about how nutrition plays a role in creating the best experience for people visiting The Ranch. The Ranch is an amazing wellness retreat with two properties, one based in Italy and the other in Malibu, and both are incredible destinations when it comes to escaping the stress of everyday life. At The Ranch, you'll see amazing hiking spots, some delicious and very healthy vegan food, as well as a really unique communal experience which is really like no other. So I do hope you guys enjoy, and please do follow our channel in order to join us as we create this series over the coming weeks. Okay, great. Cool. Meredith, thanks so much for joining us today. Are you okay to just quickly give us a bit of an introduction in terms of like what your role is at The Ranch? Yeah.
Yes, of course. So I'm the head chef here. I've been with the company now for 10 years, which is amazing. And I'm in, charge of developing all of the recipes, menus, and that includes all of the other properties. Going to Italy, I try to go there once or twice a year, making sure that it is in line with what we do here at the ranch, our plant-based and organic philosophy.
And just quickly, is the concept very similar between the Ranch Malibu and the Ranch Italy? Is it almost identical, or is there things that are sort of bespoke to each property?
Of course, we try to keep the Italy property more Italian based. And of course, wherever we go, we will always try to incorporate things from that area. What is in season there? What is popular North or South Italy? We try to keep that in mind in developing the menu and working with the team there. So that's always kept in mind, and that will continue for wherever we go, including looking ahead to New York or whatever comes after that as well.
Amazing. Before we dive into more about the experience at the ranch, are you okay to just what was it that made you decide that the ranch was such a great place for you to work?
Well, I had been working mostly in hotels for the majority of my culinary career, and I met who was the head chef at Malibu, and had never really cooked strictly plant-based. When we would get vegetarians or tickets like that at the hotel, it was always vegetable pasta or very basic vegetarian options. So when I saw him cooking and kind of was just curious and talked to him, it's a very different. We're very open here at the ranch. We have a kitchen that's right next to the dining room. The guests are able to interact, and that's a very different experience than traditional cooking where back of the house is back of the house, front of the house is front of the house. So also that getting to interact with guests and talking with people, educating them if I can about plant-based cooking was something that really interested me. And so I made, the transition and came to the ranch, and it has really been an interesting process and learning more about this cuisine and how a lot of people, I am not personally plant-based, so I think that surprises a lot of people, but I think it helps me I want the food to taste a certain way and to not just be, not that simple is bad, but to have, flavor, it can be exciting even if it is mostly vegetables.
So you mentioned quite a lot about sort of the plant-based diet at the ranch. Can you just tell us a little bit of how is nutrition at the ranch so important in making sure that the guests are really getting the most out of their experience?
Right. Well, that's part of the whole philosophy here, and the nutrition plays a big role. People are doing a lot physically, so we want to make sure they're getting enough food, of course, and replenished and fueled. And I think that's something that we try to go back to a lot. That food is technically fuel. Of course, it's delicious and meant to be enjoyed. But specifically here, we want to make sure you're getting what you need so you can participate in all of the activities, in the hiking, in the fitness classes in the afternoon. Um, the nutrition plays a big role in that, and making you feel good throughout the day and never feeling depleted or feeling like you can't possibly go on. That's not the goal here. The goal is to make sure you can, do all of the activities and feel great doing them.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because there's a large stigma in the world that wellness programs sort of there's an expectation that if you're going on one, you're going to be starved to death and you're going to have a pee for dinner. And
yeah,
can you
exactly.
a little bit about what's it like at the ranch? What should people expect when they go? Is it a small amount of food or is it?
Yes, it is smaller. We are calorie restricted, but that really depends on every person. We always encourage people to start off first day, see how you feel. If you need more, if you feel like this isn't working, of course, there's always more to be had. It will still be plant-based. We're not all of a sudden going to give you a rack of lamb or anything like that. But again, we want people to feel good through their stay. There's no part of this that is supposed to feel like you're being deprived. This should, and it depends, of course, what everyone's goals are. Of course, if someone's goal is weight loss, then they will stick to the program and may not necessarily lose weight in the short time span that they're here, but it will jumpstart the next step, of going home and staying on a healthy path. But if weight loss isn't a goal, if your goal is just to be out in nature, if your goal is to have, be off your phone more, or stay away from technology, and you need more food, or you just need more food in general, we are always happy to, accommodate that, of course. But I think also a lot of people are surprised, and we also encourage, listening to your body. I think most people aren't used to eating 3 meals a day with 2 snacks. People kind of vary how they eat. So I think a lot of people are surprised at how satisfied they are, how satiated they are. Maybe not full, but satisfied. And I think it's also listening to, knowing the difference between those two things and being okay with feeling satisfied, feeling good, not necessarily like, oh my God, I'm so full, I need to go take a nap now, because you have to go on a 4-hour hike. So, also finding that balance as well.
Yeah, no, that all makes total sense. You mentioned, differentiating people's nutrition plan based on their goals. So if someone's got a very strict weight loss goal, then they're going to have that calorie deficit. But can you tell me about, how do you curate each individual guest's meal plan? Do they all have the same sort of thing, or does everyone have something totally different?
Everyone has the same thing. Everyone, gets the same portion size. And again, that's to start out. And again, can change. So we do have people even this week here that are on double portions. We have people that have come that want to be on smaller portions. We have people that feel good after their meal, but then, 2 to 3 hours later, they're like, I need more. So we do protein smoothies or fruits, snacks, nut snacks. So yeah, it really will depend on everyone's goals, and we can accommodate any of those.
Great. And I know that there'll be some people out there that are already quite fussy eaters. And so the idea of coming to a sort of restrictive world of eating, how do you go about sort of catering for different sort of dietary needs? So is there things that you can really easily substitute and things like that?
Absolutely. And I've learned that over the past 10 years. Everyone has their thing, and that's okay. We do have people that come with nut allergies or allergies to, obviously we're gluten-free, but allergies to corn or allergies to quinoa. And we are always able to find ways around things. And those are people that we will, of course, try to sit down with, and, as much detail, and we're big on communication in the kitchen with our guests, because again, we want to make sure they're getting what they need. and never at a moment where they feel like I don't know what to eat. So there are always options, and we are, always ready to, make sure that a guest is, happy and getting what they need for their time here.
Amazing, amazing. So moving on, I know that the organic farm and the communal dining concept are a really big part of the ranch. Are you able to explain to our audience a little bit about what it is and what it stands for?
Yes, absolutely. So the communal dining, I think, especially, I'm sure this applies to everywhere, but in the US, everything is on the go. Very go, go, go. No one really sits down for a meal anymore. And so I think that's something that people really enjoy here at the ranch. You can sit down, there's no phones. We try to encourage people to leave their phones off at dinner or at any meal, and sit down with your food, enjoy, take your time, eat, talk to people face to face, and it's something, and create a sense of community. All different types of people come to the ranch, and I think it's interesting to meet people that are have similar goals, or into health, into fitness, into nutrition, and I think it really creates a wonderful sense of community when you see 20 people at a table all talking and enjoying and just eating. There's no, we have music in the background, but there's no TV, there's no phones. Everyone's just really enjoying, mealtime. And I think you can take that home. And I think that's something that people can take home, that, maybe at least once a day, you can just sit and have your dinner, even if it's alone, with your family, and enjoy, get back to eating your food and paying attention, again, going back to that mindfulness of eating. And as far as the organic garden, it's, also knowing where our food comes from. It's an amazing thing for our guests to walk out to the garden and see where we're getting the zucchini from that day, seeing all the apples, the peaches, especially right now. So also that at the market, when you go, the apple is perfectly shaped and big and huge, but actually fruit and food, it's okay if it doesn't look perfect, and that if it has a bruise, that's reality. That's what food actually looks like when it comes from an organic garden, that it hasn't been sprayed with pesticides to make it grow into the perfect shape. It will look a certain way, and that's okay as well.
For sure, yeah, I agree. We had a colleague, who was in Italy at the ranch last week, and he was just raving about the communal dining because it's such a social event almost.
It is.
And at the end of your stay, he said everyone wrote down their numbers and you all sort of stay in contact, which is it's a really nice element of the experience.
It's true, and we've had employees that have new employees that have done the program, and they all stay connected with the people that they did the program with, because you create a small community, and it's nice to be a part of.
Amazing. So you mentioned the organic farm and having all these sort of homegrown fruits and vegetables. Is there any sort of key ingredients that you use at the ranch that really help to sort of enhance the benefits of people going to the ranch?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think we do give people a list of all of the, they get all the recipes when they leave. And so some of the ingredients may not be super familiar, but there are certain spices. We talk about nutritional yeast a lot, which is something that some people may not be familiar with. Really high in B vitamins. It gives things kind of they say that umami kind of flavor. And so that's one of our favorite things when people ask, oh, what's in this? I feel like I say nutritional yeast constantly. That's one of our favorites. But I think also just opening broadening your horizons, not being afraid of trying new things, maybe things that seem a little weird or strange. Opening yourself up to different things food-wise can really enhance flavors.
For sure. And just in terms of going into a bit more about the benefits that you can get from the ranch,
yes.
Obviously the 7-night program is the sort of standard trip that guests can come on. Can you sort of explain what the sort of immediate benefits and then the long-term benefits can be out of staying at the ranch from a nutritional point of view? Because Obviously 7 days isn't a huge amount of time to
Of
sort of
course.
expect these big changes.
Of course. And I think that's something that people can be surprised by, that maybe they don't see results immediately. But I think a lot of people feel more energy, less sluggish, they're sleeping better, and they're having better bowel movements, which is something we talk about a lot here at the ranch. So those are the things that I think people will notice right away, that they just feel better. And especially if they've done, we always send a 30-day prep, especially if they've started to kind of wean off sugar, caffeine, those kinds of things can really make a difference during this, especially the 7 day stay.
And sorry, I'm just going to add a quick question in because you mentioned that
Yes.
there's a
Yeah.
there's a 30-day window before where you say that you sort of got to follow a sort of stricter diet. Can you just explain a little bit
Mhm.
more about what people should be doing before they attend the ranch?
Yes. And I will say, we ask every Sunday, when the program starts, has anyone done the 30-day? And maybe one or two hands go up. So 30 days is a long time. It's a big commitment, but we start suggesting, if you can, 30 days ahead of time, or even 2 weeks, or even a week, because we are no caffeine, limited sugar. It's all natural sugars here. Yourself things, incorporating drinking a lot more water. They will just help in sometimes when people go off of caffeine, headaches. Same thing with sugar, depending on how much sugar you eat. Sometimes we don't notice how much of those things we rely on until we're somewhere where we can't have it. So we suggest starting to wean yourself off so that your experience here is without any headaches, or feeling like a 3 o'clock slump because you're not having your sugar fix.
Totally, that makes sense. Just
Yes.
the last question for me is you've sort of covered the sort of immediate benefits that you should start to see when staying at the ranch, but from a longer term point of view, what is it that you offer your guests that they can go away and continue their wellness journey from home?
So we do always send guests home. We will get all of the recipes sent to them so they can, if they want, incorporate some of these things at home. And I think it's just, we try to surprise people with what plant-based food is. Most people, I think, come in with pretty low expectations about what they're about to experience, that it's going to be a plate of steamed vegetables or a dry salad. So I think a lot of people leave, oh, I can do this 2 to 3 days a week, and I won't feel like it's a huge life change. I think a lot of people actually do already do some of these things, but they're not even aware of it. So I think the goals are attainable to kind of make small changes and incorporate them once you leave. And I think a lot of people notice that on their last day of like, oh, I'm going to go home and I'm going to try this a couple days a week. And it is something that people can do.
Amazing. Oh, amazing. Just final question. Could you just give us an example of a day's menu at the ranch, Italy or
Yes.
Malibu?
Today is Thursday. So this morning for breakfast, we had a chickpea frittata with a tomatillo salsa. So it's made out of chickpea flour, and it looks like a little quiche. And we make our own salsa on the side. For snack, they have we call it the Be Well bar. It is a granola bar that we make. Today they go to the beach directly from the hike, so we pack them a quinoa tabbouleh with hummus and our seed crackers, so they will have that lunch at the beach. For dinner is a cauliflower steak with romesco sauce. So romesco sauce is a roasted pepper almond sauce, and we serve it with lentils as well.
Oh, amazing. Oh, sounds so good. Sounds so good.
We'll
Well,
see you
thanks
at the
for
ranch too.
answering. Yeah. I'll have to come over to Malibu to check it out.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, thanks for your time today. I'm sure our audience will really appreciate it. I know that everyone loves the ranch that goes. So yeah, hopefully now they know a little bit more about what to expect in terms of the nutritional side of it. So thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
If only we could have the smell.
Beautiful.